Hey everybody, Jen from Britical Saiyans here, and today I'm going to be showing you my Cumber deck profile. Right, so to start with, we've got our leader card. So when you place this in leader, you get Prison Planet. I'll go into that afterwards. When you text, draw a card, and then when your life's at 4 or less, or when you have a 2 or more energy and the Fu Z battle card in play, which is this one, you draw 1, get an inch back, and go down to 6. So just do a 1-1, go to 6. Just do that. And then on this side, it's got auto once per turn when it attacks, draw a card, and active main once per turn. Choose one card you own in your opponent's battle area, and it gains 7 until the end of your opponent's turn. So you're able to give your cards that you give them servant to then do the overlord skill with them. And that changes in with Prison Planet. So it's field with barrier, thankfully. Permanent mono black Saiyan cards with cost of 1 and 5k combo. You reduce the combo cost by 1. So all the black Saiyan cards that you run in this deck have a 1 cost combo, except for the Goku, and then that just means you can combo them without having to pay the cost, but your opponent does. And it's got a secondary permanent of when you're using Fu's Overlord skill, you can choose a card in your opponent's battle area. So, hence that lets you target one of your cards and give it servant, and you've got other things that target cards and give them servant, so you can start sending those away to do your Overlord skills. Start with the Z deck. We have our Z leader, our Super Saiyan Cumber. So obviously you have to be on 3 or less because you have to be a black Cumber, and that is an evil Saiyan, but also there's a few cards that are evil Saiyan, but it's just a way to differentiate apparently. So it's got auto when it attacks, draw 1 card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards and gain servant until the end of your opponent's next turn. And then it's also got active battle once per turn. If this card is in the battle, choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards with servant and combo them in your combo area. So when he attacks, you give something servant, and then you can immediately just grab 2 cards and combo with them. You don't pay the combo cost if they have one, and you just get free combo. And if you use one of your opponent's cards in a combo, you decide whether it goes to ZNG or not. Your opponent doesn't get choice because it's your combo card, so it's your choice whether it goes there or not. But it does also mean when they throw your stuff that you're giving them, same applies. We've got 3 copies of, well, we've got 3 each of these. We've got 3 Fu and 3 Cumber, because 7. So the Fu is a 1 cost, 1 Z energy, 4k with deflect and barrier, and the Overlord skill for limit 1, as long as you're Cumber or the evil Saiyan. Z stack is 1 black Cumber with range cost 2, so you play Fu, put Cumber underneath. That's the only way you're playing Cumber out. And then use your active main, pay 1 black, play up to 1 Cumber card with range cost 2 from under this card. So when you play them out, you Z stack the Cumber underneath, and then you can do your Awaken to get the energy back, and then you pay the energy to go into Cumber, and then you just have 2 battle cards for the cost of 1. And the Cumber is when this card is played or attacks, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost 4 or less, gain servant until the end of your opponent's turn. So then it just means you have targets for your skills. So that is the Z deck, very straightforward. Going to the main deck, to start with, we have our Unison, which is just 4 copies of Fu, all according to plan. So specified cost 2, 15k. It's got a permanent of if the leader is Cumber or evil Saiyan, and you have a Fu Z battle card in play, you reduce specified cost by 1, so you can play it out for 1 black energy at least. It's got plus 2 active main limit 1. Choose one of your evil Saiyan or Cumber cards, both black, with energy cost 6 or less, and it gains servant until the end of your opponent's turn. And anything with servant gains 10k, but when it goes into rest mode, it can't be untapped during the next turn. So your charge phase and all that, you don't get it back, but it gains 10k whilst it's face up on the field. And then it's got a secondary active main of -7, pay 1 black, choose one of your opponent's battle cards with servant, switch to active mode and gain control of it. So you're able to just nick one of their cards that gives 7, which the entire point of the deck is just keep throwing the servant ability on stuff in your opponent's side of the field. So, very good. You just have to get to -7. Going to the extra cards, there isn't many of these. We have 3 copies of Explosion of Malice. So it's 1 cost counter attack. If your leader's Cumber, negate the attack, choose an opponent's battle card, and it gains 7 until the end of your turn. So you negate and give something 7, which could be something they've already attacked with or whatever, and then you just have a target. There's 4 copies of Evil Aura Overflow. So this is a 2 cost counterplay. If the leader is a black Cumber, you discard a card from your hand. If a battle card being played is an energy cost of 4 or less, you play it in your battle area instead and give it servant for the game. So whatever's coming out goes to you and you give it servant, so it's more viable to your skills. And then I have a singular copy of Support the Dark Empire. So it's just negate, make a demon token with blocker, and you can use it by ripping a life when you're on 5 or less. So, but there's another negate in the deck, which is why that's okay at 1, because you're not really going to be taking your own life. You're just going to be taking hits and don't really need the high number. If you're going to just keep giving things servant, there's less attacks. So, going into the battle cards, got our 1-drops. So we have 4 copies of Evil Saiyan and 4 copies of Mai. Evil Saiyan is our top 5 searcher. So as long as you're playing Cumber or Evil Saiyan, look at 5. You can add a Fu, a Saiyan, both have to cost 6 or less, or you can add the Unison Fu according to plan, and then shuffle your deck. And then Mai has an auto of when this card is played, you add 1 Super Saiyan Blue Vegito Supreme Gleaming. So this card from your deck to your hand and shuffle. And it's also got active main at 1. If the leader is Evil Saiyan or Cumber, both black, you draw 1 and place in your opponent's area. Your opponent won't search unless they're playing Cumber, but I think if you're up against Cumber, you just play it out normally. And yeah, very straightforward. Then, 2 costs of the decks is just the super combos. So we've got 2 of the Vegeta and 2 Evil Saiyan. The Vegeta one is just 4 or less, chuck a card underneath, draw 2, gains 10. This one is if your leader is black and your Z, so if your leader is black and your Z leader, or you have 2 or more Z energy or Z battle card in play, when you combo, draw a card. This is very easy to play out because Fu comes basically on turn 2, you play Fu. That's your goal. So as of turn 2, you can activate this. And then when you're on 4 or less, you've got your generic super combo. Going into the 3 costs, we have 4 copies of Goku Berserk Instincts. So he's got double strike, 10k, permanent. While your leader is black, this gains 5k and servant. So if you're playing a black leader, this is a 25 double striker. It's got auto limit 1. If a player's leader is black, so yours, when this card is used in a combo, choose up to 1 of your cards and it gains 10k power for the battle. And then play this card from your combo area in your opponent's battle area. So it does mean your opponent could combo with it, give their card 10k, and then you gain this card. But most of the time, the idea is that you combo it, they gain the card, and then you have the Goku in their area for your Vegito. And it's also got active main at 1. If you have 3 or more energy, you play this card from your hand by paying 1. So then you can just play it out as 25k double striker. But because it's servant, it'll stay in rest mode, but you just send it with Overlord. Then we've got 3 copies. Oh no, not 3, 4. Yeah, I saw 3 on the card, that's why. We've got 4 copies of Trunks. So when this is played, you draw a card and discard a card. That doesn't apply to you. That applies to your opponent. because you've got active main limit 1. If your leader is an Evil Saint or a Cumber, both black, play this card from your hand in your opponent's battle area, look at 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 Mai or Saint, both black, not a copy of this card, and cost 6 or less from your hand to your hand and shuffle your deck. So it's a top 5 searcher. You can get Mai or any Saint that isn't another copy, and then this goes to your opponent, and your opponent then has to draw and discard. So it's very useful, and it's limit 1, but you can't well just play it as soon as you can and then send it back as soon as you can, because why not? You want that. Then we've got 4 copies of Vegeta. So he's got blocker, 10k, negates, so it's counter attack, limit 1, negate the attack placed in your opponent's area, and then if your leader is a black Cumber card, you can activate the skill without paying the energy cost. So you can only do it once you've awakened, but that's kind of the goal anyway. You awaken, you then have a negate life that goes into your opponent's side of the field, so you have a Vegeta and one of your battle cards in their area to do your effects. But it doesn't mean giving blocker, so there's that drawback as well. But you could play it in rest, doesn't say what position it comes in. So we have a singular 4 cost in the deck, which is Godly Aptitude Goku. So 20k with double strike. It's got active main, pay 1, place a card from your hand in your drop area, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, edge cost 2 or less and KO it. And it's got auto, when you play this card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and send it to Nearest Warp. So I originally put this in just as another target for Vegito, because you need a black Goku to target, and this is a black Son Goku. Most of them are Goku Xeno, same as Vegeta's has a lot of Vegeta Xeno. Made making this deck kind of annoying because all the good black ones are Xenos and you need plain ones. But the benefit of this is that you can pop a 2 or less by ditching this from the hand, and there's a lot of Z battle cards that only cost 2. So you can just pay 1, discard this and pop a 2 cost like a Z battle card, which is just a good way to disrupt strategies, and being as it only costs 1, it's not bad. But then if you do end up just being like, oh, I've got 4 energy, I'll play it, you can just have something warp and then a 20k double striker. It's entirely up to you how you use it, or if you use it. I just kind of put it in and not take it out, because it's like, you know what, I might actually get some utility out of this. Then we got our 5 costs, which we have 4 copies of Fu. So it's got crit, 20k overlord for once per turn. It's got an auto, when this card is played, choose one of your opponent's non-black battle cards, edge cost 3 or less, and gain control of it. So in that way you target something that you haven't given them because it's a non-black card. And it's got active main by paying 2. If your leader is a black Cumber and your opponent has 2 or more energy and a battle card in play, you play this from your hand. They're always going to have a battle card because you're always going to give them one. Just keep that in mind. Give them a battle card, you've got cards. And then there's 2 copies of the Vegito. So it's 25k, barrier blocker, Union Patora. So you choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards set to his warp, draw a card, and it targets a black Goku and Vegeta. Has to be Goku Vegeta. This card can be played from your hand in your opponent's area with the Union skill by targeting cards they control that are yours originally. So hence the fact you've got a Goku and a Vegeta that can go in your opponent's side of the field, but you can also pick some from your own field. So, and then it's got auto, if your life is 4 or more and your opponent's leader is a black Cumber card, because it goes to your opponent's side of the field, when this card is played for the turn, if your opponent's Evil Saint or Cumber, both black with an edge cost of 8, is attacking, you can't activate counter skills. So the idea is that you play that on your opponent's field when they've got 4 more life, and then when this attacks them, they can't negate it. They just have to go straight to blocking or comboing. Prevents them from playing a counter skill until they go down to 4. Well, go down to 3, I should say. But I only run the 2 because a lot of time I don't get to play it out early enough. Next we've got 4 copies of our 6 cost Cumber. So he's got dual attack, 19k. When it's played, you choose one of your opponent's back cards and it gains 7 till the end of your opponent's turn. And then it's got an activate that 1, pay 1 black. If the leader is black and your opponent has 2 or more energy and a back card in play, you play it from your hand. So it's just a 1 cost. Once you've hit 2 and there's a back card in their field. And then you just go 19 with dual attack and give yourself 7. And then you could use the unison, give it 7, so it's 29k with dual attack. And the last card of our deck is our ace, which is 3 copies of Cumber Berserker Barrage. I would run 4, but I don't have 4. Could probably take out the Goku for a 4th one. The red one. So it's got also, if the leader is a Black Saiyan, when this card is played, you draw 1 and choose any number of your opponent's battle cards and you gain 7 until the end of your opponent's turn. And then you can either give him double strike and dual attack for the turn, or just triple strike. So you can either just make it a triple strike here, or a dual double, which is usually the better option. And it's got activate at 1, you pay 2 black. If you have 4 more energy and your opponent's 2 or more battle cards in play, you play this card from your hand. So once you hit 4 energy, you just pay 2, bring this out, make everything a servant, and then swing at them for a big number. And then, like with any other Cumbers in deck, you could use the +2 on your leader, unison, to give it 7. So then it goes up by another 10. So then that can just be 40k, moves triple, or dual double. Whichever you prefer to do. Dual double's better though, just saying. So, with all that being said, that is my Cumber deck profile. So thank you very much for watching. Leaving your thoughts in the comments below, hit the sub button. As always, I'll see you next time. Bye.